A new Acura NSX has been spied out on the streets. Could this be the next Type R? We'll find out. We're over at Instagram. NSX John has some incredible images here of what's been spied on the streets with this new NSX. Make sure to check out his channel. Looks like he's in South Florida, just like moi. Okay, so let's check out this new NSX that has camouflage on the front and the rear. And this is the only high quality image we have. We'll probably come back to this, but I want to start with the front, and we'll compare the front of this new NSX to the front of the current NSX. And it looks so similar. So if you guys are hoping for a Type R, you know, don't give up hope, but it's looking like this is just going to be a refresh based on what we're seeing. Most people won't be able to tell the difference here between this model and the current model, but let's bring an image of the current NSX over to the right so we can kind of transpose this. Really, the biggest differences that I see with this NSX, at least on the front end, is the very corners where we have these air intakes, or I guess it's for aerodynamics. It's not an engine air intake. Those are in the rear. What these are for in the back, because it's mid-engine. So these things have been changed just a little bit more triangular instead of trapezoidal. And then the front end, this is kind of hard to tell, but this definitely has been reworked. It looks a little bit wider, a little bit more smiley here at the bottom compared to this more V-like shape, almost like a Nissan V-motion grille in some ways on the NSX. I mean, that's a bit of a stretch of the imagination, but you can see it. So this might line up a little bit more with the Acura products that we have on the streets right now. So we might see some sort of diamond pentagon sort of styled grille here with the new NSX, which would be very interesting to see that on this supercar. But everything else looks very similar here. The mirrors look the same. The vents on the hood look the same. The headlights look the same. Okay, now when we're looking at the rear, this is where I see some even bigger changes. The bottom diffuser here on the rear looks to go way further up, and we can't really see the exhaust tips, but this, again, more another trapezoid here, looks to be very similar to what we see over here. So I'm expecting the exhaust to be very similar. Now I can't see the individual exhaust pipes. Remember, over here we have the quad exhaust pipes inside of this trapezoid, but these come up so much higher. This rear diffuser comes up so much higher, which kind of gets me excited that this could be a higher performance version, but I don't think so. I think it's just going to be a refresh. I mean, they really don't sell that many of the NSX to begin with, so having another high performance model, I don't know if they would be able to see the return on investment. But if they refresh it and they give it, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 more horsepower, I think that would help Honda and Acura sell this vehicle a little bit better if they get a refresh with more power, upgraded styling. Now, besides the rear diffuser, I mean, that's the biggest thing on the rear. The rear taillights look to be identical. The rear spoilers the same. But these vents right here, instead of the squarish, again, trapezoidal, I think that's the word of the day, they're triangular. So remember, on the front, they switched those air passes to be triangular. It looks like they're doing the same on the rear here. So just switching out shapes on the new NSX for this refresh. And I love looking at this breakdown of the NSX, what's underneath. What can they do to the 3.5 liter twin turbo V6? Well, they could definitely boost it a little bit more. They could tune it to get some more power out of it. I hear it's pretty easy to get over 600 horsepower, 650 up to around 650 horsepower out of this NSX just by some simple tunes on this twin turbo V6. I mean, currently it has 573 horsepower, so maybe we see it crack 600 with a refresh. At least that's what I would like to see. 9-speed dual clutch isn't going anywhere. They could find a way to have maybe a higher power motor, electric motors here on the front. Again, these are true torque vectoring on the front here. So we have two electric motors powering each individual wheel. So they could beef up those potentially, but the problem is if you beef those up, potentially there's more weight in the vehicle, and that's not what the NSX needs. It needs to be lighter in every single way. So, and as we go over to car figures, just to kind of refresh ourselves on the sales of the NSX, they don't sell many worldwide, and that doesn't spell well for the NSX. I mean, last year I reported that it was canceled in Australia, and there it's the Honda NSX. But Acura sold 16 this past June. It sold 60 so far in 2021. and it sold 128 in 2020. So they might even sell less this year than they did last year in the shutdown year. So that is not good to see. And you know, in 2019 they sold 110 more units in compared to 2020. So looking at the sales chart here, woof, they could go for a refresh. So you know, the first years on the market, they sold 269, followed by 581, 170, 238, 128, and this year it's looking to be around about the same with 128. So if it got a refresh, that would help it out significantly with some sales. But you know, I don't think Acura's that concerned about sales with the NSX. It's a Halo product, and it is there to kind of have the leading edge in technology for upcoming Acura products. Unfortunately, it seems to be a little futuristic for Acura right now. And strangely, we don't have any sort of performance hybrid setup anymore in any Acura product. So hopefully we see that come and trickle down from the NSX, but I don't know when it's going to be. I mean, the first Acura electric vehicle, which again, the NSX is partially electric with it being a hybrid, but the first Acura electric vehicle is supposed to be made by General Motors. Actually, it will be made by General Motors, and that'll be in 2024. So we're 2 to 3 years away from that. So hopefully Acura can bring some hybrids that have this sort of performance. I'm not expecting 573 horsepower in a TLX or an MDX or RDX, but the fact that we don't have any electrification in the Acura lineup is kind of a head scratcher. This should be the performance brand of Honda and Acura. Yes, they have great motors. We have the new Type S motor, but the fact that the NSX is the only hybrid, I just still can't wrap my head around that, as that is the Halo product. Those pieces of technology are supposed to flow into the Acura lineup, and we do see some of it. You know, we see electro servo brakes in the new TLX. That is derived from the NSX, but I mean, the heart of it, the electrified powertrain, is just missing throughout the Acura lineup. They canceled the performance hybrid in the MDX with this newest generation, so hopefully they're working on something good. It's just we're waiting and waiting and waiting. But guys, new NSX. Do you think it could be Type S or Type R? I just think it's a refresh, maybe a little bit more horsepower out of it. Hopefully they're able to reduce some unsprung weight or something like that. That'd be amazing. But guys, I'm going to end there. If you're excited for the new NSX, and if you just like Acura, smash the like button, subscribe for more updates for Acura, reviews as well. Can't wait to test out the MDX Type S. Oh, love the MDX. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.